What if you could burn body fat fast while still enjoying your favorite foods and alcohol? And what if you could lose weight quickly without having to work out? Hi, my name is Anthony DiClementi, and I'm the founder of The Health Blueprint. In today's video, I'm going to share 9 of my best tips to help you lose weight quickly while still enjoying your favorite foods and alcohol and without having to work out. Of course, if you decide you want to work out, that will only enhance your results. The way this is going to work is I'm going to share one of my best tips and tricks for helping you accelerate your fat loss and improve your health. Then I'm going to share a quick case study about how these tips have helped improve the lives of other people just like you. And then I'm going to share 8 other tips that you can use today to accelerate your fat loss, improve your health, increase your energy, and improve your quality of life. Sound good? All right, cool. First, a little bit about me. My name's Anthony DiClementi, and I'm a certified nutrition specialist, certified personal trainer, and health researcher with an established track record helping men and women like you lose body fat fast and improve your quality of life. This isn't going to be one of those lame sales videos that promises you a whole bunch of tips and then does nothing but pitch you on some sort of product that you don't really want to buy anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share these tips with you, and then if you like them, you'll have the option of investing in a program that I've created that shares a whole bunch more of this information that can improve your quality of life, accelerate your fat loss, and increase your energy. But I'm not going to come in with any lame sales pitches or anything like that. Just a video with some good stuff, and then if you want to get the program, I'll throw in a button below the video that you can check out. So, without further ado, my first tip, and the #1 secret to increase your fat loss and improve your quality of life is make your first meal of the day high in protein and as low as possible in sugar and carbs. Ideally, you don't want to include any sugar and carbs with your first meal of the day. Now, the reason this is important, the reason it works, is because protein helps increase your body's thermogenesis, your body's ability to burn fat. And in the absence of sugar and carbohydrates, which convert to sugar, you're keeping your blood sugar levels and your insulin levels stable. When we consume foods like sugar and carbohydrates, which convert to sugar in the body, it spikes our body's fat storage hormone, insulin, and it essentially slams the brakes on your body's ability to burn fat. So when a lot of people eat typical breakfast foods like cereal, waffles, pancakes, granola, things like that, muffins, breads, bagels, they're immediately shutting down their body's ability to burn fat, and they're turning on their body's ability to store fat. They're telling their body to store fat right with their first meal of the day. By doing this, they're losing precious hours they could be burning fat and improving their body composition. An example of a good high protein first meal of the day would be 3 to 6 organic free-range eggs, including the yolks. Now, when you get your eggs from an organic free-range source, you can have them 5 or 6 times a week without compromising your fat loss and without needing to worry about the cholesterol or saturated fat content. The belief that dietary saturated fat intake and dietary cholesterol intake is associated with heart disease and will make you fat, also known as the lipid hypothesis, has been proven false. There are many studies now, including over 350,000 participants, that show no association between saturated fat intake and heart disease and other degenerative conditions like that. So, the only thing that is important that you need to keep in mind when applying this tip is that those sources of saturated fat and cholesterol need to come from healthy animals that were raised on their natural diet. So for example, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, free-range chicken and turkey, free-range organic eggs, stuff like that. Those are animals that were raised on their natural diet, and therefore consuming fats from those animals will benefit your health, increase your fat loss, as opposed to catalyze some of the unwanted health conditions which are associated with saturated fat intake when it comes from confined animal feeding operations and animals that were fed grain-based diets and things like that. Earlier I mentioned I was going to share a couple quick case studies with you just to kind of illustrate some of the benefits that this information can have on your life. I've personally used the information I'm sharing with you and a lot of the tips that are in the full Health Blueprint program to lose over 15 pounds of body fat and gain 10 pounds of lean muscle. Bill Narowski has lost over 80 pounds and counting using the information I'm about to share with you in this video. And Michael Cooper was able to lose over 50 pounds to get ready for his big wedding day just this past fall. Now, I share this information not to impress you, but to impress upon you that this stuff works if you apply it. Here are 5 of my top nutrition tips that you can start using today to increase your fat loss while still enjoying your favorite foods and alcohol every single week. Now I'm going to share with you 5 nutrition rules that are a part of the Lazy Man's Way to Six-Pack Abs program within the Full Health Blueprint system. These are the rules that worked when nothing else would, when it felt like I was destined to struggle with my weight and be 20 to 30 pounds overweight for the rest of my life. Rule number 1, eat a complete protein with every meal and snack. Complete proteins are proteins that contain all 9 essential amino acids. Good sources of complete proteins include grass-fed beef, wild-caught seafood, free-range chicken, free-range turkey, whole organic free-range eggs, including the yolk, things like that. There are also some vegetarian sources of complete proteins. Sun Warrior makes a vegan vegetarian protein called the Warrior Blend that's pretty good, and I recommend that to vegan and vegetarian clients. Garden of Life also makes a good protein, a good raw protein that you can find on iHerb.com. Rule number 2, avoid white foods and fruit. White foods include sugar, iodized salt, not to be confused with sea salt, flour, grains, whole grains, baked goods, breads, cereals, pastas, granolas, things like that. Any food containing sugar and fruit. Now the reason we include fruit, yes, fruit can be healthy, but it can also be problematic for fat loss. Fruit contains high amounts of the sugar fructose, which is also associated with decreased insulin sensitivity, diabetes, weight gain, and things like that. So when you're focused on fat loss, although fruit is healthy, you want to save it for your weekly scheduled cheat day, which I'll explain in just a minute. Rule number 3, get 2/3 of your daily food volume from vegetables, preferably green, non-starchy vegetables like spinach, kale, asparagus, broccoli, things like that. One of the exceptions here to the white food rule that I just mentioned earlier is cauliflower. Cauliflower is a cruciferous vegetable that's been associated with decreased rates of cancer, increased lipogenesis, which means fat burning, and a number of other health benefits. So although cauliflower is white, it is a food that you can include. Rule number 4, don't drink your calories or use artificial sweeteners. You want to avoid all caloric beverages, all beverages that contain calories, so fruit juice, milk, soda, things like that. And you want to avoid all beverages that contain artificial sweeteners, so any diet sodas, 0-calorie drinks, all of that you want to stay away from. Diet sodas are just as bad as regular sodas, if not worse, and a number of studies have shown that they increase your probability of getting diabetes even more than sugary regular sodas. Now, granted, regular soda is not better, they both stink. So if you're going to try to pick healthy beverages, you're going to want to go with lots of filtered water. You can add the juice from lemon or lime. You can do unsweetened almond milk, unsweetened coconut milk, black coffee, green tea, black tea, yerba mate teas, and herbal teas, stuff like that. Those beverages are going to be what you want to consist the majority of what you drink during the day. And rule number 5 is cheat once a week. You're going to want to follow the previous 4 rules only 6 days a week. And then 1 day a week, you're going to want to give yourself a break and enjoy some of the foods that are healthy, but may also be problematic for fat loss. Foods like white rice, white potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams, quinoa, fruit. When you're eating fruit, focus on berries, nutrient-dense berries like blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, things like that. On your cheat day, your day off once a week, if you want to go crazy and have some deep dish pizza or an ice cream cookie skillet or something like that, this is your opportunity to do that as well. I recommend starting off with a big cheat meal. Go nuts, have whatever you want. Give yourself an hour or so to eat everything that you've kind of wanted and earned the other 6 days. This cheat day isn't just an opportunity to gorge. It's done strategically, and it's included as a part of the program for a reason. When your diet is on point 6 days a week, you're essentially at an 85% compliance rate, 6 divided by 7. So your 1 day off is necessary. When we're trying to lose weight, we need to create a calorie deficit. And in creating a calorie deficit, our body downregulates our thyroid levels, our leptin levels, and our metabolism slows down because we're taking in less calories. By taking 1 day each week to strategically spike your calories and replenish glycogen, carbohydrate stores in your muscle and your liver, you reset your body's thyroid levels, you reset your body's leptin levels, and you prevent your metabolism from slowing down. This makes your weight loss efforts more sustainable. It prevents you from getting that rebound weight gain that is so problematic for people that have been on prolonged caloric restriction diets. All right, hopefully you enjoyed those nutrition tips and found something that you can start applying to your life as soon as today. Now I've got another tip for you. This tip comes from the simple 16-hour detox, which I teach in lesson number 4, How to Eat for Fat Loss, in the Full Health Blueprint program. You may have also heard this tip referred to as intermittent fasting, and what it entails is eating all of your calories for the day in a shorter time window. So basically you're not restricting your calories like most diets, you're just eating them in a smaller time window. That's why it's more of a lifestyle than a diet. Intermittent fasting has been proven to increase HGH, your body's major fat burning hormone, by as much as 1,300% in women and 2,000% in men over just a period of 24 hours. So here's how you can apply this information to your life to reap some of those fat burning, lean muscle building benefits that come with increased HGH. The easiest way to implement an intermittent fasting lifestyle, or as I call it, the simple 16-hour detox, is simply to skip breakfast. Make lunch your first meal of the day and consume all of your meals within an 8-hour time window. So if you work a 9-to-5 job and you typically eat lunch around noon, that'll be your first meal of the day. If you follow the other recommendation I just gave you earlier in the video, you'll make that meal high in protein with any carbs coming from non-starchy green vegetables like spinach, kale, asparagus, broccoli, things like that. And you'll also want to include some healthy fats like olive oil for a dressing, or if you're cooking your own meat, use some coconut oil or organic butter from grass-fed cows. Then your next meal would be dinner time, typically around 8 p.m. So you see that noon to 8 p.m. is your 8-hour window. The other 16 hours you're going to fast. You're going to focus on not taking in any calories, and you're going to drink a lot of filtered water, teas, black coffee, things like that. If you need to sweeten up your coffee, I suggest using organic stevia powder. Stay away from brands like Stevia in the raw, which include dextrose in their formulation, which can be very problematic for fat loss. And just when you're fasting, make sure no calories, no artificial sweeteners, anything like that. If you're making your coffee, stay away from dairies, creamers, things like that, and try to consume 0 calories to maximize the benefits of your fast. Now, if eating all of your meals in an 8-hour window seems like a lot, here's how you can kind of bridge the gap from where you are now to where you want to be. Start by splitting your 24-hour day into 2 12-hour increments. The first 12 hours are going to be your fasting window. That's going to take place when you sleep and for a few hours before and after. The other 12 hours are going to be your feeding window. After you're comfortable maintaining the 12-12 split, gradually increase your fasting window and decrease your feeding window. So you'll be fasting for 16 or 14 hours and then, eating all of your meals within a 10-hour frame. When you feel comfortable with that, move on until you're eventually fasting for 16 hours and eating all of your food within an 8-hour time window. Most days now, I'll consume all of my meals within a 1 to 6 hour time window. There was a book written by Ori Hofmeckler called The Warrior Diet, which kind of popularized this 1 meal a day concept, which I try to follow at least 4 or 5 times a week now. Basically, you eat all of your calories for the day in one big meal, typically over a period of like 1 or 2 hours, and then you fast the other 23 hours of the day. This allows you to reap a lot of those benefits that I talked about earlier. It also improves your body's ability to eliminate toxins because you're not using all of your energy to digest, break down, and assimilate food. Your body can then allocate resources to the detoxification process. It also improves your body's ability to use fat as your go-to energy source instead of food. So when your body is in a fasted state, your body is more likely to go to fat stores and use those for energy. It's what we call the transition from sugar burner to fat burner. Here's a bonus tip for you. If you want to accelerate your fat loss even more, do your workout for the day in a fasted state and then follow it up with your first meal of the day 30 to 45 minutes after you've finished working out. So for the typical person who has a 9-to-5 job, you would skip breakfast, and then at your lunch break, you would get a quick 30 to 45 minute workout in, have lunch ready at your desk or pick it up on your way back to the office from the gym, and then follow it up with your high protein first meal of the day 30 to 45 minutes after you've finished working out. Now, hopefully you're finding the information I've been sharing with you today helpful and different from what you may have thought to be true. This is a good thing. Why? Because almost 70% of Americans are now overweight, which means one thing: what we're doing to lose weight isn't working. If you want to look like everybody else, do what everybody else is doing. But if you want to look different, if you want different results, you've got to do things differently. You've got to consider the possibility that there are strategies and methods that exist outside of conventional wisdom and industry dogma. We've got just enough time for one more tip today, so here it is. When you're going to be drinking alcohol, you want to stick with alcohols like vodka, gin, rye, scotch, whiskey, and bourbon. When you choose vodkas, I recommend staying away from grain-based vodkas which can contain gluten, and instead going with potato-based vodkas like Chopin or Popov, or a grape-based vodka like Ciroc. You can also drink red wines with low residual sugars like Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinot Noir, or Merlot. I also recommend staying away from the sugary mixers that are very common with many alcoholic beverages. So avoid fruit juices, soda, diet soda, energy drinks, zero-calorie drinks, things like that. And instead, go with soda water with fresh squeezed juice from half of a lemon or a lime. The added benefit of squeezing the lemon or a lime in there is that it helps blunt the insulin spike, which you now know can cause your body to store fat. I also recommend avoiding beer. Beer is one of the most problematic alcohols for fat loss. And make sure that you drink a glass of water in between every alcoholic beverage, whether it's a shot or a mixed drink. Having a glass of water in between will help your body stay hydrated and burning fat throughout the day and the night while you're out. If you've enjoyed the information I've been sharing with you today and you want more, I'm going to add a button below this video that will give you instant access to the full health blueprint system. All you've got to do is click that button, throw in your information to get started. Inside the full health blueprint program, you'll get 7 value-packed lessons along with these bonuses. Lesson number 1, why we get fat. Lesson number 2, the psychology of slim. Lesson number 3, prepare for success. Lesson number 4, how to eat for fat loss. Lesson number 5, how to train to burn fat and build lean muscle. Lesson number 6, naturally heal your body. Lesson number 7, putting it all together. You'll also get the lazy man's way to six-pack abs, the natural diet, the 7-day weight loss kickstart, which can help you lose as much as 8 to 10 pounds in just 7 days, the weekend eraser workout, the health blueprint grocery guide, and much, much more that I'm just too lazy to keep rambling on about. If your gut tells you that the health blueprint is a good fit for you, trust it. Your intuition is almost always right. Go ahead and click the Add to Cart button now below this video, and let's get started. That's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'm Anthony DiClementi, and I'll talk to you soon.